Hey guys, it's Zacharias African in my video. As you can see, I'm doing the reactions to my predictions obviously, and generally I do this at the end of the season, but this time I want to take a look at the playoffs also. I mean, it's not like an entire tournament where whoever comes first is the winner, right? We all know that. So just want to make sure that I can call the playoffs too, at least call something, right? I have a list here that says what I predicted and what actually ended up happening, and then I'll be calculating the difference in the spots, absolute value basically. So let's say a team finished 7th, I predict them to finish 7th, they finish 4th, that's a difference of +3. And while a team that I predict to finish 4th finish 7th, that's a difference of -3. It doesn't add up to become 0, it becomes absolute value of -3 plus absolute value of 3 to become 6. I'm assuming we know what's absolute value, but still, you want to be as close to 0 as possible. Let's see what I ended up with. Anyway, we'll start off with bottom, which was one of the few I got correct, which was Rajasthan. I predicted Rajasthan be 8, they finished 8 thanks to some KKR super bowling. But Rajasthan, I did mention in my video that Stokes was going to be a huge minus for them not showing up. Even after he did win them 2 games on the back of his own bat, but apart from that, he was very lackluster, and I don't blame him, man. I think he just showed up because there was cash there, and I think he'd have felt, okay, his father's getting better, so we'll give our commitment to our team. That's what I feel Stokes majorly did, and it's great for him to show up with that kind of when you have something going on personally, and then for you to show up and do that. He's good. He broke a few records on the process, being the only guy to have 2 unbeaten hundreds in a run chase. So Stokes was there. They won the first 2. They didn't do so well. Their spin contingent actually did fall apart. I predicted Gopal to do really well. It was instead becoming Tewatia. Gopal wasn't great. The bowling was bad. It was Jafra, some random fellow, Rahul Tewatia, Shreyas Gopal. I mean, I think Varun Aaron, Ankit Rajput, and who was the other fellow? Jaydev Unadkat. Pretty big names in there, should we say? We'll call them. They're quite big names actually. And Karthik Tyagi really held his own, but we knew Rajasthan finished. Number 7, who did I predict? Kings 11, who finished Chennai Super Kings. We'll talk about Kings 11. We'll talk about Chennai Super Kings because that's the actual what. Okay, this was bound to happen. I think that's all we can say. This was really bound to happen. I should have just really gone with my instinct and put them 7. If you look at my predictions video, I said that I didn't have any trust in this team. I just felt that, okay, that experience, because the last time I wrote them off, they won the title. So I decided not to write them off this time, and they actually fell apart quite massively. Now people say losing Raina, losing Harbhajan was a big thing. Not really, man. Harbhajan, what does Harbhajan do? I don't know. Raina, okay, maybe if it was like 2008 to 2007, Raina, I would say yes, but the Raina as of late, it's not a huge miss. They've got a couple of guys who can build their team around. It's actually a very assertive team. Still, I would say that you drop. I mean, the fact that you need to drop Watson and Jadhav way early in the season for you to keep persisting with Watson. Look, Watson's a legend. Okay, I won't say he's a legend. A little under a legend, but he needs to know when to leave. I mean, you don't want to. You're one of the greatest in the IPL, greatest all-rounders in the IPL, one of the top MVPs, and then for you to come out and not know when to call quits. I mean, he wasn't doing anything. He couldn't run. Because he couldn't run, he couldn't field. He picked up a few catches here and there. And if he had to pick a catch, ball had to come here. That's all he would do. If it went there, it went 1 inch to the right or 1 inch to the left, he wouldn't move. Dhoni got it spot on too bad. He came out saying the spark wasn't there and all that kind of nonsense. Sai Kishore was the top bowler in the side. Mushtaq Ali. Jagdishan played so well in his one game. Gaikwad got a couple of games, but then they blamed it on COVID. I would personally blame it on CSK, not the fact that he got COVID, but the fact that you bat him at 5. I mean, you asked Padikkal to bat at 5, he's not going to bat at 5. Clearly, something's gone wrong in the CSK management. Heads need to roll. Dhoni's come out and saying he's not going anywhere. Personally, I feel that's a bad move. So CSK are doomed to be 6th or 7th next season. They are making the playoffs. Without a mega auction, there is no way. They'll hold on to Jada. They'll hold on to Chawla. Unless I see some heads rolling, we know I'm gonna stick with my instinct and say CSK are doomed to finish last. Somehow they finish 7th. Think about it. That CSK team, if finished 7th, take a look at Rajasthan need to take a clear look at themselves and see how did we finish worse than the CSK team? That is one question they need to answer. That is an important question they answer, and that will become important. Then I predicted KKR to finish 6th, Kings 11 Punjab came 6th. Kings 11 Punjab just came on the wrong end of results. I think it was just experience. I said Kumble needed another year, and it's already starting to show. At one stage they were winning everything and they were making a push for the playoffs. Towards the end it faltered off. The really thing that they helped them was they were only on the wrong side by an inch or so. No, I wouldn't say certain decisions by the players, not by the umpire, but certain decisions by the players themselves would have influences. But they played really well. Kumble is really starting to started to show his things in the team. Maybe need a few holes to be plugged in, as in who's going to be your finisher. Maxi is not doing it, Nisham's not doing it. If Maxi is not going to do it, then Sharjah is not going to do it anywhere. Maxi for 10 crores, gun fielder, gun bowler. His primary skill needs to be working. Punjab are serious contenders next year. If they can get a one clear head like Gale in there, they're gonna do well. So Punjab was 6th. I predicted Sunrisers to come 5th. KKR end up in 5th. Why did KKR come 5? They didn't deserve to come 5. Very simple as that. There was nothing. I mean, for all the hype that surrounded around Narain and Russell, I mean, these guys came out and said Russell will score double century if he bats at 3. Guy can't even play a single ball. How is he scoring a double 100? And then Narain is the top class all-rounder after Russell. Narain scored 150, that's all. And that too, it was because of clear thinking. Brendan McCallum, Abhishek Nair put one desk, just kept on writing. I don't know how many books they used up. I don't see what they would have written in those books. One thing that worked for them, Varun Chakravarti. The other thing that I said that wouldn't work for them, that actually ended up working for them, is Owen Morgan. He actually started playing spin well. They batted Dinesh Karthik out of position, but I'm not blaming that. Karthik was a momentum-based player. There wasn't any momentum. Cummins, I told you, Cummins wasn't worth that money, and he clearly showed he's not worth that money, except for that last game. Huge holes in the team. Huge holes in the team. I told specifically Kuldeep Yadav wasn't worth his money, and he's not. He hasn't played. The management's realized that. They've got a few guys, but overall they didn't deserve to finish 5. Punjab deserved 5, but sometimes you get certain results go your way, don't you? So they'll take that, they'll be happy. Then on 4th I had DC. The only reason I said I put DC was because I wanted RCB to come 2nd. I said RCB and DC were very close. I thought CSK would come there because I didn't know where else to put CSK. If not dead bottom, I should have put them there. RCB came 4th. Why did RCB come 4th? There wasn't really much to distinguish between them or Delhi. Delhi were becoming too one-dimensional. RCB had the same problems they had, except for the fact that Chahal did a lot of heavy lifting. Siraj came back like a boss. A lot of guys were pitching in here and there. They're still dependent on Kohli and AB, but not as dependent. The team's really starting to change. DC have looked one dimension. That last game really pipped them to 2nd, obviously, but or else DC were looking extremely one-dimensional. So that's RCB. I predicted CSK to come 3rd. We talked about CSK. Sunrisers came 3rd. The minute Warner starts batting like that, you know that's there. Warner's a beast, and that's how he should be playing. That is how he won them that title in 2016. And they are out of the 4 playoffs people, Sunrisers are serious contenders for a title. If MI have an off day, the only team that will back the other team to beat Mumbai would be Sunrisers. I had RCB in 2nd, DC came 2nd. Again, we talked about DC. Nothing there to talk about really. Just started off. I don't even think they peaked at the right time. People just figured out the Nokia and Rabada. They just found out how to play Nokia and Rabada. Extremely one-dimensional. Losing Mishra was a huge blow. And unfortunately, because they were very rigid in not playing Sandeep Lamichhane, which I don't know what it comes down to, because Ricky Ponting has come out and said that he really likes the kid, and for him not to get a game, is it fitness issues or something? Yes, leggies weren't turning it up as much as the fast bowlers were in Dubai, but whatever that entire region is called, those 3 places, you would still, at one stage Stoinis wasn't doing anything. For that I could easily back Sandeep Lamichhane. I mean, bowlers win your tournaments, and it was a good time to bring Sandeep Lamichhane, bring him in, make him a big game player. They failed to do so. DC They're just lucky to finish second. That's all I would say. RCB defend Sunrisers or RCB or Punjab even deserved it more than anything. DC just got a whole bunch of wins in the first, followed up with 1 or 2. DC aren't great. I'll give you that right away. I said only the number 5 was an issue. Look, their bowling attack is an issue. I completely went over that point because I knew I thought Mishra could do the heavy lifting. Maybe he could have, but he wasn't there, so we can never comment on that. And then finally the only other one I got right, which was a walk in the park, MI finishing top. There is no one who's beating MI. If, like I said, only Sunrisers, that too is like a okay. If Punjab had got, let's say KKR had got into the playoffs, MI winning a title was a one-sided affair. Now that Sunrisers is there, it's a 0.95-sided affair. It's still Mumbai's game. Look at all the other teams. There is something that you can exploit. What is there for you to exploit in this MI team? Okay, watch out bowl. Bumrah will come and bowl it to your face. Okay, watch out Krunal Pandya. Rahul Char will come. I watch. Suddenly one day Pollard will come. He'll bowl 111 clicks an hour, and that's all. Damn good team, MI. So this added up to be 6, 8, 10, 12. Should have been close to 0. I went over, obviously crossed 0 by a lot. There were a couple of 2+2s that I really got wrong, and there was that CSK mistake, which I should have just reeled back my instinct. But predictions is one very funny game, and you gotta call it right. There is. What really annoys me is the fact that I called it right and then I just second guess myself, which I generally don't do, and kids don't do that. Don't second guess if there's any kids watching or anybody in fact, don't just second guess yourself, just go with your gut. Anyway, playoffs, MI go through, RCB Sunrisers equipoise, but I say Sunrisers, DC Sunrisers, MI Sunrisers, MI. Very simple, but there is, like I said, there's a 0.05 chance that Sunrisers could still take the title. They did this in 2016, so you can never say. Warner has a huge game impact on each of these 3 days. You know, Sunrisers is taking it out. Personally, I don't. MI deserve to win. They've just been too good, but T20 doesn't work like that. 1 or 2 things really changes. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. It's an extended video because I'm trying to fit in all the team reviews in one stage. Please leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll stay safe, and I'll see you next time.